Want to get back to our 360 story this morning of the changing role dads have during the pandemic and the better work-life balance they hope continues long after, which may be easier for some than others. Nicole Brady shows us the many factors in play.
The bumbling dad stereotype made for some 80s comedy classics, but it's not today's reality. Plenty of dads do dinner, dishes, and diapers. This past year with remote learning, they've also been teachers and playmates. Eric Schoeneman of Golden quit his job last year while his wife continued to work.
Her job, honestly, was a little better job than my job. Was a better situation for her to work and me to kind of pull back from my job and be able to take care of the kids and help them with their school and make sure that they were kind of taken care of.
He's now looking for a job that will still allow him to work part-time at home. And he's not the only dad shifting gears. Surveys indicate that more couples are equally sharing childcare duties than before the pandemic. But we wanted to dig a little deeper into what it means for dads to be more involved, and if that's really possible for all dads. I spoke to different experts and found there are societal biases, economic factors, and even internal barriers.
They really do want to be a part of caretaking for their children, but there are a number of obstacles to that, and one of those obstacles is that feeling of, I don't know.
Dr. Steve Rissman runs a men's health program at Metro State University. In his conversations with men, he's learned many feel inadequate.
We oftentimes rely on, well, what did my father do? And we're coming up against, yeah, well, that's not always appropriate. Men are having to confront that and ask themselves, well, what do I want to do here? The way I like to think of it is it's an invitation. It's an invitation for men to actually question how they're going about fathering.
Overcoming internalized fears and expectations is one thing, but then there are also external factors. Even as more workplaces allow for flexibility for parents, some still face bias.
And I think that there is a stigma and this fear around people who are not in nuclear relationship structures.
Gender studies professor Aneri Rodriguez says work-life balance is only possible when your employer validates your home life.
So there's this culture of fear that if somehow asking for support or outing yourself, sharing your story with an employer may put you at higher risk. It may marginalize you further.
Economic factors are another barrier for men who want to do right by their kids.
They're struggling on several fronts.
Kenneth Braswell, founder of Fathers Incorporated, says the pandemic has brought additional challenges for Black fathers, especially non-custodial parents.
And trying to make sure that they stay safe from COVID environments, while the father on the flip hand side only wants to see his child.
These are just some factors that contribute to the status quo, where women still take on the majority of childcare. In September, 865,000 women dropped out of the workforce compared to 216,000 men. But one thing everyone I spoke to agrees with is that if men can make more time for fatherhood, it enriches everyone.
When you're with a kid, it opens you up to a different part of yourself. You have an opportunity to embrace your heart, if you will.
You hear the cliche, like you wish you had more time with your family, and we feel like we've been able to take advantage of this time.
Years down the line, our children are going to be talking about how their parents fared during the pandemic. You have an opportunity now to really give them a long-term memory that they'll be talking about and reflecting on for a long, long time.
So we would love to hear from the parents out there. Have the roles changed for the dad in your household? And do you see it continuing even after the pandemic? You can email us at 360@thedenverchannel.com.